Nope, I'm good. Thanks, guys. All right. Bye. And just like that, we closed up and the saltwater lights turn off. Such good timing on Fridays. Sorry, not Fridays. It's Sunday. I don't know what day it is, guys. Bye, Brian. Thank you.
Are you filming?
Yeah. Alright, Joel. They may not seem super nutritious to you. Algaes, corals, anemones. They would all disagree. They think they're pretty nutritious. Oh, gosh dang it. I said it last week, I'll say it again this week. These urchins. These urchins are gonna get fired. Gotta glue that down. Again, I did find the other one. It just kind of fell down. Here's a nice little green Bacillopora. So that's a Bacillopora, Stylophora. These are both Bacillopora. So this is, the Stylophora is a little bit like chunkier and a little bit more branchy, where, no sorry, the Stylophora is a little bit more chunky, where the Bacillopora has these like tight, close together little branches. They're called cat's paws. I don't know, they're small and bumpy. And they make more of that rounded shape usually, where that one kind of like spreads out flatter. So there you go. Those are the two types of bird's nests that are really hard to tell apart, especially if it's just like a single stick on a frag plug. The Seriatopora is our third type of bird's nest. That one's a lot easier. Turn off that fan so it's a little quieter. Waiting for a few more of you to get on here. Our Favia that I had added, I don't even know, how long ago was that? Many weeks ago. They are doing well. The ones that have tissue recession already had tissue recession. I added them in here to get healthier. So yeah, they're all looking good. I love this pink hammer that's right in front there. And our brain coral there, our Lobo brain. The brain coral has a story. It was brought to us from the zoo. It was stolen and it was brought back by Greenfield Police, and that's all I can share. Don't even know if I should have shared that much on a live stream, but that is one interesting story that I can share with you in person if you come in. A little tidbit. That's just a frig of it. It used to be a giant colony. Some of it didn't make it. It had a stressful time. So we fragged it, got it healthy. We kept one piece because how can you not keep a coral, especially after all of that? And then we sold the other two pieces. Can we see the Wayman watermelons? Wayman watermelons. What are the Wayman watermelons? Are you talking about the bubble tip anemones? Those are watermelon bubble tip anemones in there. At least some of them are. Or are we talking about a coral that has a name that I don't know? Joel, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't believe he's still here. The Caribbean sharp-nosed puffer. He's just got such a big personality. Oh, a type of zoa. They probably are. I'm guessing Ross probably told you that. Ross is following named corals a lot more than I am. I used to, and I have since gotten frustrated with the naming culture among corals and hobbyists. I'll leave it at that. Some are legit, others are just random names that people throw out there in order to slap a higher price tag on it. I just asked, do you like the color? Based on what I have to pay for them, they get priced into categories, either A, B, or C. They have 3 price categories, and then all the zoanthids I can sell at the C price, the $30 price, get thrown in there. So I try to have zoanthids that are worth $30 in there, if not sometimes worth a little bit more than $30. There are some zoanthids that are a lower price than that, but usually they're not that pretty. We don't have too many of them in. But if I ever get in cheap zoas, then they just all go on sale and all get sold cheap. Instead of trying to do the name game, because we just don't have the space with the amount of corals in our one coral tank, the one frag tank, to do the names of every single variety that's currently in there. The light on this is out. I need Eric to come back from vacation. Eric, come back! Help me with this light. He is the master control. So I had removed all the fish in here because there was no light. However, this little gold nugget maroon came in and needed a home that had no other clowns in it, and this was it. This was the only option. We have clowns everywhere. Just everywhere. Come get your clownfish. Still have that bicolor foxface. They're so pretty. They'll get even like darker than that. He'll get bright black in the front and then yellow in the back. Sometimes they're like dark black does look brown. I've also heard them called a chocolate foxface. However, I don't think that's a common term. That's usually bicolor or Fiji, also known as a Fiji foxface. This cute little rabbitfish is starting to color up more. That is definitely the 2-bar. I think I have it marked as the scribbled. That is a 2-bar. This is a scribble face. Oh, see, you look like a 2-bar as well. It's either that or my wholesaler sent me 2 2-bars, but one of them was priced as a scribble face, which the scribbled are more expensive. So I might just sell both of these as a 2-bar, and if you get a scribbled, you get a pricier rabbitfish for the price of a 2-bar. I think we're just going to go that route. Once again, do you like how it looks? They're basically the same fish, just from different regions. But these two are both so young, they're not showing their full patterns yet. So I totally could completely understand a wholesaler also selling it as the wrong thing. We've had wholesalers make more drastic mistakes than that before, such as sending a Quran angel as a queen angel, which they look nothing alike as babies. So I was highly confused on how that mistake happened. But it happens. That's okay. We have this really big Banggai cardinal. We have the 2 Clarkies. I love Clarkie clowns. I like their bright yellow. A Tweety Tang, a very large yellow-tailed damsel in here. Down here, there are 2 clowns. There's another Tweety Tang. And it says there is a lawnmower blenny hiding in here. I have to double check if he sold or if he's still here. This tank got really ripped up, but there were several other fish sold out of it. I don't know if the lawnmower blenny is still present. I'd have to dig around in there. Oh, did you guys go to bed? Hi, buddy. We have our little baby zebra moray. Oh, you did not go to bed. Hi. We have our Humu Humu trigger, which is nice and colored up right now. Sometimes it's not as colored up, and I have people comment on that, like, oh, that one's not as pretty. See in the back, all of a sudden it like dulled its colors. This one does choose to dull its colors. They will flare up and color up more if there's other fish or competition, so it's viewing it's viewing my phone and gimbal right now as something to flare up at. Otherwise it's a little bit more chill and not as colorful. Hi! This guy needs like a silver side a day. He may not look that big, but he has a big tummy. He needs to eat a lot. There's a Scopus tang left in here. All the rest of the buddies got sold. And another Scopus tang. This is a nice big Scopus tang. And a very big Desjardini sailfin tang. We got that black Ocellaris clown yet. And that Falco Hawk is still there, still hanging out. Same with this tank. No one's really changed in this tank. Still have that awesome pigtail trigger. If you want a big pigtail. This is a little bit more of an aggressive pigtail. Probably can hold its own with some other triggers if you want to try. I don't always like trying that, but some people do. Ooh, let's see. There are some other macro algaes. Can't remember which of these we had last week. We still have some seagrass caulerpa. It's a very pretty one. And codium. And there is some blue hypnea. I remember talking about that last week though. The copepods. Guys, look how clear these bottles are. If you had seen, like last Sunday is when I first got them in and they were just full of spirulina and phyto. And now they're clear and I can see a bunch of little guys swimming. So that's how much they have ate in a week. Tomorrow I gotta like remix them all up and feed them more phyto and get them all green again. Because they have cleared out their water, which also means they're eating and breeding. We had to remove the clown from this tank. He was being a bully to our Ember Blenny. Ember Blennies change color. There has been a lot of different information on this guy. He truly is an Ember Blenny, which they usually have a lot of like red spots and some green on their tail, which right now he is showing. However, sometimes he's just completely black. And people are like, what's that black Blenny you have? Which a black Blenny is a species of Blenny that gets a lot bigger than this guy. This is a nano Blenny. Yeah. He just changes his color and that's super normal. There's a lot of saltwater fish that will change color. In here we have some really cool feather duster clusters. I can't believe they're still here. This one actually has multiple colors on it. We have these cute little pinkish red ones and then some multicolored ones in the same cluster. And then we have the like purplish white ones with some multicolors, and then there's another pinkish one over there. Still have some Peterson's cleaner shrimp in here, along with some sexy shrimp. This plate's looking good. We have one blue plating sponge left back there. The other one sold today. I have that blue plating sponge in my tank. It plates out like a mani, but it's flexible, so it kind of like flaps in the flow. It's interesting, but it does form the different shelves just like a mani cap would. The fancy green Frogspawn sold, but we still have the two pink guys. And the Octospawn looks so much better. It just closes up at this time of night. I swear, it does look good during the day. We have some more Lobos. That's the same species as the one I showed you that has a story, has a history. Some nice Alveopora yet. We're starting to get a little low on some corals. We'll get a restock, not next week, because I don't like to get orders during a holiday week, even though the holiday is technically on a Saturday. And a lot of wholesalers don't like to ship on a holiday week. So our regular coral guys are delaying our subscription 1 week as well. Oh, Joel, I just saw it. I thought fish don't need light. Not necessarily, but in order to sell fish, you need a good light on them. So I don't think that gold nugget maroon's gonna sell until there's a light on them, because, I mean, personally, I wouldn't buy a fish out of a tank that was completely dark, even though like here, I trust our fish, obviously. I know our fish, but still, you want to be able to see your fish. You want to be able to see everything about it. Make sure it looks good. These guys got awful algae. This flametail blenny's showing off. Here, we don't need the filter for these guys. Let's see, who else is showing off today? Swirl Grandma, super brave. I just love these sharp-nosed gobies, and that guy's so fat. Such a good nano goby. Alright, inverts. I haven't shown inverts in a little while. We have a large amount of pitho crabs, algae destroyers. There are some little pink lady urchins in there, at least one that I see. We have some chocolate chip starfish. I think one of them is flat and probably dead. The other one looks like it's probably fine. Starfish are so sensitive. Even the chocolate chips that are supposed to be hardy. There's also a tiger pistol shrimp. If you can't tell by the mound going on in here, he has his cave system. Okay, I keep hearing something behind me and I'm distracted. And it's Roger spitting water and blowing bubbles at me. Roger, stop freaking me out. Oh my gosh, what is behind me? It's a fish. Kelvin, yes. Actually, for a couple weeks now, we've been doing the Sunday saltwater live stream, which is only going to be saltwater on Sundays so that Jesse can just focus on the freshwater stuff. A half an hour is just not enough time to show the whole store. And Annabelle and I started splitting it on Jesse's maternity leave, which worked really well. And we're just going to continue that so that both of us can answer more questions and focus more on the content, as well as the saltwater people that do hop on here don't want to, you know, wait till the end or just have like 5 minutes in the beginning, because we can't spend half of the normal live stream on saltwater, at least not all the time, because it is such a small percentage of customers and a small percentage of the hobby in general. But I get it. You don't want, you know, just a tiny, tiny live stream for your hobby or what you have questions about. Hence, this. It just makes sense for us to split it up. Also, the saltwater guys hide a lot, so it's helpful since I'm the one who puts them all into inventory, that I'm the one answering questions because I know where everybody is. Yes, for those of you that do fresh and salt, now you have two to pay attention to. These do also get uploaded to YouTube on Mondays. We're starting to have a Aquatics Unlimited YouTube, which right now is just the live streams. We are working on more content, but if you guys want to go there, find us and follow us on YouTube, then you'll get notified when those new videos do get uploaded. So there's lots of ideas. Currently I'm working on the saltwater setup, the 10-gallon setup, a series for that. But I do believe we'll also be doing species spotlights on there. This is a grab bag down here for inverts. We have this really cool red urchin. We have the green serpent starfish, a tiger cowrie. No, I won't buy it. Ooh, I'm so tempted to buy it. It is a reef safe cowrie. We still have some itty bitty little baby chestnut cowries, which are at that size fairly reef safe, but once they get big they're more opportunists. But at that tiny little size, if you're dealing with hair algae, that is another fish, not fish, gosh, that is not a fish, that is another snail to add to your arsenal. We also have a lot of fighting conchs in here, but it's hard to see the fighting conchs because they are really good at completely burying themselves in sand sifting. We have a lot of feather dusters, including more hard tube cocoa worms. We have some bigger hard tube cocoa worms in there. We have the striped brittle or banded brittle starfish. Some purple hairy urchins. Oh, look at these two hanging out. We got some Halloween hermits in here. And holy cow, bumblebee snails. So many bumblebee snails. There are emerald crabs hiding down here as well, some small ones. I'm so glad they sent me small ones. The small ones are also a safer bet in your tank. What did I miss that's cool? Oh, also hiding up here is a pair of fire shrimp. But they like hanging back down in that corner that the pistol shrimp carves out for them. And we got this really big singleton fire shrimp down here. And there is also a coral banded shrimp that I see its little whiskers on the opposite side of that rock. Mystery wrasse. Yeah, I knew that, Joel. So mystery wrasse, along with the fairy wrasse, most of them get 2 to 3 inches. So basically our orangeback fairy wrasse we have in here, that's pretty much max size for most fairies. He's gonna hide in the back and not come out. Some stay a little smaller. I will say, like, I have a redfin, or I can't remember, is he a redfin or is he a ruby longfin? Might be a ruby longfin fairy wrasse. I don't even remember what I have in my own tank at home now, guys. But I have the one that stays a little bit smaller. Fairy wrasse theoretically can go in together. We tried a trio that we added at the same time. It did not work out. It got down to one. I'm having a hard time adding any new fish to this tank because we actually have 3 very aggressive wrasse in here, or wrasses in here. Our Christmas wrasse is a jerk. Our blue streak wrasse is a jerk, which I don't see, but I'm pretty sure it went to bed. Oh my gosh, we do still have 2 chalk basslets. I thought you guys got down to 1 because of the aggression. There are still 2. And believe it or not, the tang is like the model citizen. I've never had the tang be a problem. Our Bellis Angel, we also tried to pair Bellis Angels. We are down to 1 Bellis Angel, which that was a very expensive territorial dispute, miss. Thank you very much. And of course, the one you'd expect to be the jerk. That's an Acanthuris tang. And just sweet as pie. That is a Eebly Mimic tang. And it doesn't always show the stripes, because they'll show the stripes if they feel like they need the posture, and that one's so chill in there, it feels 0 need to posture. Alright, last thing I wanted to potentially go over today with you guys. There's been some questions on dosing. We are discussing starting the carry all for reef, just because it's so popular, especially for dosing nano tanks. But currently, if you're looking at dosing, most of the time it's obviously for just your coral nutrients, your stony corals. I really like Sea Chem Fusion 1 and Sea Chem Fusion 2. This is why we have both of these and so many of them. So this is going to be your calcium, this is going to be your alkalinity. I can't think of a situation where you would not do both of these together. Because even if, let's say, your alkalinity, which is commonly the low one, right, you start dosing alkalinity, you're going to tank your calcium in the process. So even though you need to start adding alkalinity, at least start adding a little bit of the calcium so that you don't tank that, because it is really important to have your calcium in there. The next nutrient that is going to be the one that most commonly gets dosed would be magnesium, and that is ions. This is actually Aqua Vitro. So for those of you that are like, oh, I want to see online reviews, Aqua Vitro is the higher end Sea Chem line, and they have made it so that it can only be sold in local fish stores, basically. They like supporting local fish stores. However, it's kind of a catch-22 because then people can't research it online and understand what a great product it is. So I'm telling you right now, I do dose this on our coral tank. I've used it a lot. It's not just magnesium, it's also strontium and boron, which are other metals that your corals really, really need. Magnesium does help balance these 2 out, but also the rest of these are to help you with your coral polyp tissue. And I'm not really going to get into any of these. These are for special situations. Most of the time, if you're just starting to talk about dosing, it's going to be these. Some people like 8.4. It raises and buffers pH to 8.4. I like the pH where it's naturally going to be, and I don't like screwing around with pH, so most of the time your pH is 7.9 or 8. Don't mess with it. Like the chemist in me says, just let it be stable. Wherever your tank really wants to be at, you can slowly try to change it, but if you try to change it too far, and it's gonna keep going back to where it was, and you keep swinging it, right? You keep swinging all your nutrients, now you're just gonna kill all your corals, even if maybe they would have been fine at a lower pH, or they would have been fine at a lower alkalinity, but because you keep changing it, you stress them, and then they die. Don't do that. Let's see. Jessie's gone over a lot of these in a previous video because she started adding a lot of lines in here, so something to help with coralline algae and coral coloration. Some of these I have not tried. I have tried Polyp Ignite. It does actually tell the corals it's feeding time, and they shoot up the polyps. Same with Polyp Booster, and then you can add in your coral food. How should one really set up the filter basket in a 928 nano cube? Ooh, okay, so it totally depends on what you have in it. So, I mean, this is the 15 cube, but let's talk about your media basket or your caddy or whatever you have. I say if you have a lot of different types of leathers or anemones, you should try to have some form of carbon in there. Carbon can be a negative on saltwater fish, mainly the powdery bits. So I like matrix carbon because it's bonded in this little circle. It's not as powdery because it's your powdered carbons that actually leach into the water, and some of you may have heard like blue hippo tangs get lateral line erosion from carbon. That actually has been tested. That is true, but it's not true for the carbons that don't leach a lot of it. However, carbon does break down over time. So if you have a big tank with tangs and stuff that are really sensitive, I don't usually recommend carbon. But in a tiny tank, especially because most tiny tanks have a lot of leathers in them and they have chemical warfare against each other, I would have carbon. Maybe not run it all the time. Maybe do carbon like every other month. Like your carbon gets depleted, you take out that bag, you wait a month, the next month, you add in a new thing of carbon. Or they haven't really tested Purigen, but Purigen is just carbon on steroids. Purigen theoretically does not break down and have all those itty bitty little particulates that can negatively affect fish. Now they've only really tested this on tangs that have lateral line erosion. I don't know if it affects your little nanofish as much, but just my mindset is if it affects any fish, I don't really want it in the tank, right? At least minimally. We do throw carbon in our nano tanks though, for the sake of not having our corals kill each other. But Purigen, so I would get like a little sachet, would be good, right? Now let's say you don't have any corals or anemones that you're worried about leaching a chemical that's going to warfare on other things in your tank. Okay, cool. Then it's more of filter pads. Let's try to remove as much of it out as we can. Most little tanks don't have a skimmer. If you don't have a skimmer, we're trying to pull as much out as we can for our macro particulates. And then, cleaning those out as often as we can. If we have a skimmer or we have a sock or something that is pulling out all of our detritus and we're not really worried about detritus catching in our little caddy, I would honestly just fill it with biomedia at that point. Let's see, probably not denitrate. Denitrate only works in really, really low flow areas, so that would not be what I would go for. Something like matrix. Something like matrix or any other little biomedia that comes with your filter. I would just pack it chock full of that, because as you slowly get all these new bacteria added and all these other cultures coming in your corals and they can grow in there, you're going to have a lot of biodiversity going on then. I mean, the same can be true for the filter pads, but the nice thing here, it's not getting clogged, you're not pulling it out, you don't have to rinse it all the time and then kill all the good things that are on it. You literally just leave this and forget it, and you catch all that other stuff that you're worried about elsewhere. Sometimes in nano tanks, we need to do so many water changes that a skimmer becomes obsolete. Sometimes even all the media becomes obsolete. Let me give you guys an example. Where are we at for time? Oof. I need to end this pretty soon. I really didn't even think I was going to hit a half an hour today. So for an example, come on, gimbal, other way. We have our sponges in here. And the other side is just a mirror copy of that. Hold on. Whoop. Okay. So we have carbon in this bottom one here. I'm making a mess. You can't even see the carbon. But we have a bag of matrix carbon, we have a phosphate sponge, and then we have filter floss. That's it. The carbon gets replaced regularly. These guys get taken out and rinsed. We don't actually have much for biofiltration. We don't have media balls going on in here. Maybe we'll add some to the sides eventually, but we don't have a lot. Well, I suppose now we have corals actually that we're feeding pretty heavily in here, but otherwise we didn't have a whole lot of bio load. And between selling out of this tank all the time, sorry mouse, I got you wet. Who decided to put salt water by a computer? My goodness. Who would do that? That was me. Um, Hopefully that's going to be fine tomorrow. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, it gets a water change so often we don't worry about it. We had a skimmer on it. It was basically doing nothing because we didn't have enough to skim, so we removed it. We had a filter roller on it, actually, and there wasn't enough for it to roll, so we removed it. Because we just don't have a big enough bio load going on and a heavy enough feeding to warrant that. Hopefully that answered your question. That was probably more than you wanted to know. Kelvin, obviously, it's unique for each system. So if you want to come in and chat about that, Ross is also really good with this. He would love to probably chat about what to put in your back chamber. All right, are there any other questions? I'm probably going to stop on the products because we're at the end of the time. But any last minute questions before I head out for the night? All right, thanks for joining, guys. I'll see you next week.